Hi, everybody. Welcome. So recently, in the month of May, we've been talking about the traditional log cabin block that we piece on our embroidery machine, because that's what we do here at Sew in Common. But the log cabin has what I like to call three cousins. You could call them three kissing cousins if you wanted to. And today we are going to talk about the first of those three cousin blocks that go with this log cabin. So sit back, grab your favorite mug, something warm, something cool. Now that it's warmer weather, you might want a nice something cool. And let's get started. Hi, everybody. I'm Diana here at Sew in Common. Welcome in. So glad that you could be with us today. And I want to get started straight away on our block. So I'm going to flip over to my camera. Here we go. So here's the block that I just showed you, the log cabin. And as you can see here, let me get it there so you can see it. It always starts out with a center block, this traditional block. Now, some log cabins start out with more than one center block, like this one here. It starts out with two smaller ones and then starts with the rectangular. So there can be a little bit of difference there. But the one we're working with is just plain simple. Half side is darker, half side is lighter. Red in the middle, that's very traditional, representing warmth, fire, hearth of the home, whatever you want to say there. But don't be bogged down by this idea of having to have a red center. You can have that center piece be whatever color you want. Go rogue, do what you like. And you can see that we just start and we move around. Let's see, actually we start this way and we're moving around. And then on this one, it's a 5-inch finished. So we get 3 rows of light and 3 rows of dark, basically. Pretty simple. But this block has a cousin that I want to share with you. I want to grab the one that I did. Yeah. So here is that block in this colorway. Now this is a little bit easier for you to see. Very specifically, darker on one side, lighter on the other. And if you noticed in my light side, I didn't use any solids at all. These are all prints, what I call ditzy prints, or prints that read as solid. They have a very little bit of a print on them, but they're very definitely in that lighter, or in this case, a white fabric family. And then on this side, I use 3 specific colors or fabrics in the color of this kind of a aqua, a medium, and a darker, but I put them all on the one side. Kind of pretty, don't you think? I love that. And so in this one, I'm going to just turn it towards me just so I make sure and get my direction right. This one is moving around in a clockwise direction. I always start with a light and continue around. So I have light on one side, dark on one side. Doesn't matter. No, unless you're going to pair it up with this first cousin block. Let me make sure I'm grabbing the right one because they look so similar. In fact, you're going to look at me and say, I don't get it. They're the same. Well, they're not the same, because this one, again, starts with our center, moves into our first light color, and we move our lights into the darks in a counterclockwise direction. See how that works out there? So they're done the same as far as I'm laying my colors in the same order, starting with lights on one side, starting my lights, moving from my lights into my darks on each one. But in this one, I'm going clockwise, and this one counterclockwise. And why is that important? Can you start to see why that can be important? Let me move this down a little bit and bring in 2 more. I want to make sure that I'm getting these all placed right. In fact, I want to put them like this, and we'll move those up. It's kind of a bit like a puzzle. Here we go. That one is going to go there, and that one is going to go there. So by using the clockwise and the anti-clockwise blocks for the log cabin, you start to get pictures. You start to get other blocks. Isn't that cool? Don't you love how that looks? And if I build out from there, I can make things like I showed you in last week's video. So if you haven't checked out last week's video, which is May's week 1 block of the month, the log cabin, check that out because I show you this whole idea about log cabin sets. A set, this is an idea that I learned from the one and only Mary Ellen Hopkins. She was a wonderful lady and a wonderful quilter. And her idea was these sets where how you laid your log cabins out can give you those different pictures, those different blocks like stars and baskets and all kinds of things like that. And so sometimes you have to use a clockwise and an anti-clockwise together to start making those. Sometimes you add blocks that are all of one color family. Okay, so they might be where I would put, say, these prints here to one side, and I would pick up another one that was darker to this side, but they'd all be in that aqua, so it's a little bit trickier for the eye to see which goes where, but those blocks get used as your solid color blocks sometimes. You can just do all kinds of things. So you might, in an overall quilt, do 2 or 3 different color combinations of blocks, and a pattern would tell you that. And then how you lay them out ends up giving you that picture, that quilt picture. And you're going to be seeing more of that because that's kind of what this month's project is going to be. So let me set these aside for a moment and let me bring you in another one that I did. Now this is one that is done in the clockwise direction. Oh, wait a minute. Clockwise? No, this one is done in the anti-clockwise direction, going this way. And again, lights on one side and kind of darkers on another side. But you can see in this one where I chose 2 different colorways completely, the yellows and those minty greens. And I mixed and matched them. That's perfectly okay. If I had done these 4 blocks in these colors, I could get this whole cross star idea that I just showed you. Hang on, there we go. I could get this whole idea that I just showed you. Wait a minute, all right. So that's not what I just showed you, but it's the same idea. There we go. No, it is. Sometimes you really have to look at them to get them in the right place. I guess that is the right way. No, it's not the right way. Oh, this is the right way. Okay. This is the one I just showed you. There we go. So if I had done those in this colorway, we'll just place that one there. You can see I would get that, but I would have like these golds in the center, things like that. But now I just showed you something that else I was going to show you. So if I laid these out this way, where I had, again, the darks in the center, but they're touching here at these light strips, that gives me a whole different, that's almost like a butterfly. Let's turn it like this. Let's turn it 90 degrees. Do you kind of see a butterfly in that shape? Wings in the dark, and then this lighter part would be like the centers of the wings and all. Do you see that butterfly shape? So just with 4 blocks, 2 clockwise, 2 anti-clockwise, we've made a couple of 3 different blocks now. That's kind of fun, right? To only have to do one kind of block and get them all done. So let me move these to the side again. And these are the 2 original ones I showed you last week. And they are both going in the same direction. But because I ran out of this fabric, I had to change it on this block. So these are kind of orphan blocks. Even though they're mostly the same, they're a little bit different. But if I were going to just do all scrappy log cabins and just sew them together, those would still be beautiful. I would still love those together. So don't ever get rid of these. Now, one thing I want to go over with you quick is in the instructions, you're given information on how to cut yours out. So those are my centers. And I always give you measurements that are a little generous. And there's kind of a couple of reasons to that. One, I don't want you to ever not have enough fabric. but two, you can do something with those scraps. So here's how gosh, these have gotten a little bit wrinkled. I have to repress this one. But here is the two sizes. So you cut your centers like this. All of the rest of them are 2 by 7 inch strips. Okay. And I just make myself a little pile of all my colors, and I put them in the order that I'm going to do them. And then I have them laid out, and as I'm working around my block, I can grab them. And then remember, you have the other tool in the instructions, and that's your placement template. Now, this week, you're going to be able to pick up for free at no charge the anti-clockwise or the reverse one of the log cabin. But all you're going to get is the digital file and the placement template, because all the instructions are in last week's free block of the month. So this is kind of like the supplement, kind of like we did last week. We're going to have some supplements this week and this month, and this week's supplement is the other direction and the template. That's what you'll get in that one. So here's something we talked about last week as well. We talked about the idea of putting this line and telling you half light, half dark, so that you could check them off as you go. And that's what we did when I made this one in the hoop for you and showed you how it was being pieced. But when you're going to piece them so that you can place them together, always start with the light and work around to the dark. And so when you do that line, make sure that, so this is the first one, that's a light, that's a light. So I have it correct here. This side is light. It says this side is dark, except for that one right there. That's going to be a light as well, because your first one after the center, light, light, dark, dark, light, light, light. So it's a little bit different. Then don't let that line, don't even use that line if it's going to confuse you, because with this one, you want to go your center square, then light, light, dark, dark, light, light, dark, dark, and all the way around. And when we get, I've even made myself a note because I don't know how many times I do this. When you get to 10, 11, 12, and 13, do not trim them completely. Don't trim anything that's out here. You can trim your edges here for your next piece if you want to, but I would just leave it. Otherwise, you're not going to end up with enough fabric out here to cut and get your proper seam allowance. So maybe make a little sticky note and stick it on your machine. When you come to number 10 through 13, don't fully trim them away. Okay, I've had to back mine up and redo them a couple of times this week because I got busy. It's been a crazy week this week. But you're going to get the new template. So you'll have one template for the clockwise, one template for the anti-clockwise, and you'll get your pattern, your digital files. Now, as you're cutting and doing these, you're saying, gosh, I'm getting some leftover fabric, Diana, and I want to be more judicious with my fabric. So I want you to start doing something right now because you're going to need them. I want you to get yourself a zip bag or a mesh bag, or maybe you have a little fabric drawstring bag that you've made that you like to put scraps in. All of these little scraps that you have, whether they're like this in the rectangle, or they're more square, or just a little piece like this that isn't going to fit somewhere else in your block, any of these like this, I want you to keep them in a bag, because later in the year, we're going to be using these for a super fun technique that you've probably heard of in a traditional method, but we're going to be doing it on the embroidery machine, and you're going to need all of these great little scraps. And that's all I'm going to say because it's going to be a surprise. But start putting these as you're making your log cabins and any of your other pieced blocks. If you get pieces that are like this or like this, anything in those size ranges, these little squares and things like this, save them because you're going to be needing them for later in the year for a truly scrappy project. and one that will help you use all of these so you're truly not wasting anything. So I wanted to get that to you as well. Now let's remove the camera and come back. So that's this week's cousin block, the opposite direction of last week's block. And it's important because those two blocks together are what help us make a lot of different patterns, a lot of different, what Mary Ellen Hopkins calls sets. I like that idea. I think that's a great idea. So that's what this week is about, the log cabin sets. And you're going to you can go to our website and get your free copy of the Block of the Month patterns. You can still get last week's. You can get all the way back to January if you haven't yet, and all the way through to this week. And all of those are free throughout all of 2023. Now, I will tell you, folks, that everything is back in stock. Gosh, you guys went crazy getting your blocks this week, and I love that. That thrills me to pieces that you're getting those blocks and you're playing with them and you're working with them and you're making quilts with them. And I got one of the sweetest messages from one of our viewers, one of our subscribers, saying that she couldn't quilt anymore because of some conditions with her hands, and some of you may understand that. And so she loved the idea that she could do this on her embroidery machine now and quilt again. And I tell you, I sat and cried for 30 minutes. That just makes me so happy to know that you guys, if you have always loved quilting and you're coming back to it, that this little business that I've started helps you to do that. Or if you're brand new to quilting and you just want to do it this way, I'm so thrilled that you guys are loving this. So thank you from the bottom of my heart. And I didn't want to say a name because I didn't want to embarrass anybody, but you made me cry for 30 minutes. In fact, my husband walked in and said, "Why are you crying?" And I said, "It's all good cries. It's all good cries." So anyway, so I love that. So that's how you get your blocks. You get them at the website, sewincommon.com. Okay. Now, this week, I did a vlog and I did a shorts video, and I did a shorts video yesterday on Saturday about glue pens. And we did a little test on the Fons Importer and the Sew Line, and then this new one that I hadn't used, but one of our viewers has seen it before. You can't see, there's too much reflection. You can't see the name. BOM. This one is made in France, but it's sold, the only place I've seen it is at the Fat Quarter Shop online, but some of you may have seen this before. So we did a little test, all three of them. Which one, they're all temporary. They're all either blue or pink, but they dry to clear, which we love that. But we wanted to see which one stuck the best, because what I noticed when I use my Fons Importer is I need to take my seam roller and roll a little bit over it to get it to really stick good while it's stitching down. It's not a problem. I mean, there's no problem with that. It's not like I'm not going to use the rest of this glue pen. I'm absolutely going to use it. And then with the Sew Line, it stuck really good. I've always loved the Sew Line products. I wish I could find that one that had the more pointed end, though. If somebody knows where I can find that, leave that in the comments, would you? Because I really want to find that one again. I really love the finer tip to it. So Sew Line was right in the middle, stuck really good. But this one from BOM, boy, oh boy, did it stick well. And on these blocks today, this is the one I used, and I had no problem. I had to do no seam rolling to hold anything down. I just put my little swipe on there, folded it over, pressed it with my fingers, real quick, and off I went, and it really stuck well. So I really, really like this one. Now, one of our viewers reminded me, and it was a great reminder, that if you're having a hard time with finding your glue sticks, your fabric glue sticks, look wherever your shop carries their English paper piecing products, because that's typically where these can be found. Now, you might find like if you, I know you can find the Fons Importer one like at Joann's and some of the other bigger craft stores. So they might just have it in the sewing department or something. But I know these, and I should have thought of that because my local shop carries their pens. They're always right there with English paper piecing because folks at English paper piece have to have these. So it makes perfect sense. So look there if you're having a hard time finding them. Like I said, the Bowen one I got from Fat Quarter Shop. They're all under $10. They're all refillable. So for sure, but my sew line, I will always use. Fons and Porter, I might not use as often for this type of stitching, but I could use it for other things for sure. And then the Bowen one is really my new favorite, and it's the one that really did the better job. So check that video out, the vlog from this week. In fact, I'll post it at the end where you can just click it and watch it. It's not a long vlog, but you'll see it in there. And you're gonna see something else in there too, because I announced our first new product, physical products, not the blocks yet. That's coming, and I have something to show you guys today. I hope you're still hanging out with me because I have something really exciting to show you. Is our new Dust Away machine cleaners. It's a set of 2, comes in a little package, and apparently some of you need to clean out your bobbin cases because I've already had a lot of orders this week. And a couple of you, I told you they were going to ship out yesterday, Saturday. I apologize. My husband reminded me we don't have Saturday mail service right now. Because we live in a smaller rural area, our folks get worked to pieces here. And so right now we don't have Saturday service. They'll start it up again in August or September. I think when we start getting more towards holidays, they do. But we let them have a day off during the week because they also do the delivering for like Amazon and places like that. So they work extra hard. But so anyway, if I told you it was going out Saturday, it's going out tomorrow morning. They're all ready to go. They're up on the front desk, ready to get sent out in the mail tomorrow morning. So you'll get them really soon. But they come in this little package. They're called Dust Away machine cleaners. Check out, I did a little vlog. I showed them to you in the vlog, and I did a little shorts video on how they get used. The great thing about these is they're silicone. They're bendy, so you can really get them in. I really love this one. Now, I've seen some other things kind of similar to this, but they only had a tiny ball on the end. When I was looking for products for machine cleaners, because I've been looking and testing these for months and months, been looking for a couple of years, and I've been testing these for months before I decided on this to do this one as my product. I have the ball made a little bit bigger, and I made sure that we had these bristles down the edge as well. That way, when you're bringing your brush out, it's going to hold on to all that dust. And then at the end, you can wash these under the sink, under warm water with a little bit of hand soap, whatever you have in the kitchen or the bathroom. Dry them, put them back in their baggie, and away you go. And like I suggested, I have one at my sewing machine. I have one at my embroidery machine. I have a set in my serger, and I have a set in my travel bag. Now, folks, if you have a combo machine, so I have a couple of different machines. I have my Dream machine, which is a combo. I have a Stellaire, which is embroidery only. And I have my big Quilter Select sewing machine, which is sewing only. So for the combo, you want these because you need to be cleaning that bobbin case out more often if you have a combo machine. And this is why, is that if you're using cotton thread when you're sewing, you're getting more lint in that bobbin case than if you were just using polyester thread. So on my Stellaire that I only have polyester thread typically that goes through it, there's not so much dust in there. I still clean them quite frequently because why? Not cleaning that bobbin case is the one thing that will cost you money unexpectedly, where you're going to have to go to the maintenance and get your machine maintenance more often, because it can cause problems, and it's all because of that silly dust that gets in there that sheds from our thread. With polyester, not so much, but you still should go through them. And I always go through after projects. But on my combo machine, because I also use cotton thread for my quilting on my combo machine, because I know it can handle it really well. And sometimes I use cotton thread on that still air as well. And when I do that, I want all of that dust and fuzz and stuff out of there. Okay. And so keep those right by your machine. When you're done, just get in there and clean them out. And you're not going to have to throw them away. They're going to last you a long time. Now, they're not going to last forever, right? Because nothing does. But these are going to last you a long time. They're not something you're going to have to buy every 3 months. Plus, you're not using Q-tips. Q-tips, what do? They leave fuzz in that case. So Q-tips aren't the best idea. The little brushes we get, they kind of move things around, but they don't really get in there and get that dust out the way these little grippy ends will do that for you. So these are available now in the website, at the website, okay? And those of you that saw the video and all already, thank you so much. And I would love to hear your thoughts when you get yours and start using them. And we have a little contest going, and we already have one winner. So we have 2 more winners for the contest. If you go over to our Facebook page, Sew in Common, right? So original, right? And you post a photograph of your dirty bobbin case, the first 3 people that post, and we've already had 1 post, so 2 more people that post their dirty bobbin cases, get a set of these for free, okay? Because I really want to know what you're saying. Now, the first person that posted her picture, our first winner, I have to tell you, her bobbin case was pretty clean, but that's great. Doesn't mean she doesn't need these. She does. She obviously takes the time to clean her bobbin case, and these will help her out with that. And as long as you keep them by your machine, they're always in your eye line, and you're liable to do that more often. So try out the new Dust Away machine cleaners. I'd love to hear what you have to say about that. And even if you're not one of the first 3 to post your pictures, post pictures of your dirty bobbin cases. Don't be shy. We all have them, and we'd love to see them and talk about cleaning and all of that together over on the Facebook page. Would love that. Now, I have something really exciting to tell you guys. So in June, our new product for our block sets is coming out, right? And you know we're having a little bit of a contest. You can post a comment on any of the videos. You can post a comment over on the Facebook page. You can drop me an email at support@sewincommon.com, support@sewincommon.com. At that email, you can drop me a line there with your thoughts on what we should name the collections. So they're going to be, so we'll say that this is one of the collections. You would get 4 or 5 different sizes of pattern, your instructions, your templates, all of that in a set, so that you can build just about any quilt you want to. I don't want your embroidery machine to hinder you from making any quilt that you want to make. And so we're going to be introducing these block sets so that you can build that library of blocks. And you can, I always grab this one because it's sitting here because it's one I want to make. You can grab any quilt pattern, and as long as it tells you what the finished size of your blocks are, which you can easily figure out in the instructions, you could piece these through any of the blocks that you have from our sets. So, or any quilt that you've seen that you want to make, you could do those on your embroidery machine. For one really easy reason is because a lot of quilt blocks, the individual blocks that make up quilts, traditionally were never more than 4 or 5 inches. Now we've got bigger ones. So the first sets coming out are going to be standard sizes. I know at least 2 inches through 5 inches, you would get all of those sizes. So that's one thing. I hadn't told you that before, but you're at least going to get 2, 3, 4, and 5 inches in each set for each block so that you can be making your squares any sizes you need. You might need smaller ones for cornerstones. You might need the bigger ones as part of an overall design, and you'll be able to do that. And then I've had several of you ask, are we going to have larger individual blocks? Like, let's say this one, the log cabin, since that's what we're doing, I'm just holding it up. Would we ever have one larger to fit some of those bigger hoops? Yes. The answer is yes. I just can't tell you exactly when the larger sets will come out. There are a lot of the basic sets we want to get out. Probably there will be some larger sets before the end of the year, but don't wait for those. Get your standard size sets, because that's what we'll probably call them, standard and large, or standard and extended probably will be the two size ranges. Get your standards, because most of your quilts take standard size blocks. Okay, so don't let those go. Now, back to the whole naming idea. I've gotten about maybe a dozen name ideas sent to me or posted, and I love them. I think they're all great, but I've been telling you all there's going to be a prize given to the winner, and there will be, and there's going to be more than one prize, because there's also going to be a runner-up and a second runner-up. So we're giving 3, but I want to show you today the grand prize for the sets. So the first place, second place, and third place winners are all going to get the first basic set for free, plus dustaways. And if you've already bought your dustaways, don't worry. You can always use a second set for your other machines, right? Or for your travel bag. So you'll get the second and third place winners will get their set of the blocks, the first set of blocks, and the set of dustaways. Okay, so cool. Now here's the grand prize. Now I'm showing you this, but I'm changing it because we did this little test this week. You're going to get a glue pen, and I had purchased and gotten the Fons and Porter glue pen that was going to go in the package, but I'm taking it out of the package and I'm setting it over here because it's going to be mine, because I'm going to put in a Bowen pen, because I really like this one. And since I did the test, I want you to have what I felt from that test was the best product. So you're going to get a Bowen glue pen. You are going to get your own Mr. bottle, the big size. And this one is so cute. It says, nothing like a little color therapy to brighten the day. And she's sitting here looking at all of her pretty color. Do you guys have, is this your picture? Should that be your face there? Absolutely. Should be my face there sometimes, because sometimes I just sit and look at the fabrics. So you're getting the large Mr. bottle. You are getting my favorite Quilter Select ruler. You guys see me use it all the time in the videos, and boy, mine has been used. It's got this great frosted backside so it doesn't slip on you. And it's 1, 2, 3 inches across, 12 inches up and down, really easy to see. It's got all of your 1/8, 1/4, 1/2, 3/4, and full inch markings on here. It's even got some of your angled markings on here as well. And if you're somebody who likes to hang yours up, there's the little hole there that you can hang it on your wall if you want to. So you're getting my favorite Quilters Select. Nope, that was right. Quilters Select ruler. So that's the Bowen fabric glue pen, the Mr. bottle, my favorite ruler. You will get a set of dustaways. You'll get your free block set. You're also going to get my favorite snips, my the perfect scissors from I forget the woman's name. I'm so bad now. But the perfect select ones that have the little bit of a serrated edge with the cap. So you're going to get these perfect for trimming away your threads, because you can really get in there. Now, these are really sharp, folks. In fact, let me grab my pair from over here. See how sharp these are? That would go right through your hands. So always when you put these away, please pop that cap back on there so nobody gets hurt with them. And those are the ones that you want to put the little tag around the handle that says, if you use these, you buy me new ones, right? Because that's the rule in our house. You use any of my scissors in this space, you buy me a new pair, because I can't use them for fabric anymore. So you're going to get those. And I found this. It says Eat, Sleep, Quilt. It's a super cute, it's a really nice thick faux leather with a little pin cushion on it. And it's a great little zippy bag to hold your snips and your glue pen and your dustaways and anything else you want to put in there. So great for travel, or great to put even cosmetics in and throw it in your handbag or something. But I thought it was super cute. Eat, Sleep, Quilt. That's what we like to do, right? And then the last thing in here is the Sandy Gervais Hello Spring Layer Cake. These are from Riley Blake. Beautiful colors. Look at these. So you guys saw, let's see if I can grab the right square. No. Okay. Yep. So these little ones here, these little daisies, they're in here. They're right there. There's also a little yellow one in here that I really love. So all of these in here. This is the layer cake for Sandy Gervais's new line, Hello Spring. So perfect for this time of year. Beautiful colors, lavenders, peachy pinks, some greens, some yellows, those beautiful aquas. And I know that they have yardage and all kinds of other things that go with these. So if you decide to make your quilt from this and you need to purchase other things, I know you can find them out in the shop. So that is the grand prize, along with the quilt blocks and all of that. So all of this is going to go to our grand prize winner, and that alone is about a $200 value with the blocks added in. Okay, so that will go to our grand prize winner. Our second and third place winners will get the block set, and we'll get a set of the dustaways. So please enter now. Enter in the comments now. Start typing in names. You don't have to type in just one name. If you're in the middle of the night and you go, oh, that would be a cool name, come back, type in another one. I just need to know the name of the person and their name so that we put them all in. We're going to talk about them here at So Uncommon, and we're going to whittle it down to 3 names and a grand prize winner. So grand prize for second and third place. So I hope that is great for you guys. I hope that excites you, that that's what's coming your way, because this is for you guys. And so if you love doing this as much as I do, you're going to want these things. These tools alone are going to help you, because I talk about them all the time. When I was thinking about what I wanted to do for the grand prize, I thought, you know what? Throw in the things that you know work and that you use all the time, Diana. And then, of course, there had to be fabric. And I just fell in love with Sandy Gervais's new line. So I hope you guys like that. All right, everybody. So this week is all about the first cousin to the log cabin. So we have now a clockwise and an anti-clockwise, so we can start making shapes and different pictures. Next week is going to be the second cousin. Now, these last 2 cousin blocks that I'm calling them are definitely log cabin-esque, but they're different. And in and of themselves, they make beautiful selections of quilts. So put in your ideas for names for the block sets, and join us next week on week 3 for the next supplement. Actually, next week's week 3 already, isn't it? Okay. So next week we'll either do the last 2 cousin blocks. In fact, why don't we just do it? We'll do both cousin blocks next week, because week 4 is our project and our live, and we love seeing you guys. So as I tell you every week, everybody, if you need to get a hold of me, support@souncommon.com. pop your pictures of your dirty bobbin cases over there. Don't clean them beforehand. We all have dirty bobbin cases. Just put them in there. And we get 2 more winners from that. And thank you all so much. And as I tell you every week, everybody, go sew life beautiful. Isn't quilting fun? I love it. And I love doing it with you guys. See you all soon. Bye for now.